new energy streams. The energy streaming in from the cosmos right now is unlike anything we've known before. It's not just nudging us, it's pressing on every edge of our energetic being, urging us to expand. But this expansion isn't into something foreign or unfamiliar, it's into the deepest truth of who we are. This is not a becoming, it's a return. A return to the essence of the soul, that once said yes to entering this human experience, to walk through restriction, limitation, and profound learning with the promise of remembering. Over the span of many lifetimes, we danced through both ends of the spectrum, light and shadow, pain and joy, forgetting and remembering. Now, as we reconcile these vast human experiences, their wisdom becomes part of us. These soul-earned lessons begin to inform how we show up in our lives, how we love, how we forgive, how we lead, and how we connect with one another. The personal healing we do ripples outward. It becomes collective, and even cosmic. We are not just healing ourselves, we are shifting the entire cosmos. The path to this embodied remembrance is not easy. But we've prepared for this moment for lifetimes. We agree to this great unfolding. And when the energies feel overwhelming, when we feel emotionally battered, physically sore, and spiritually stretched, it can help to remember this greater purpose. We are in the midst of soul alchemy. Many of us feel like we are bouncing between polarities, elation and exhaustion, inspiration and despair. My guides once shared something that helped me understand. They asked me to visualize that we are holding a frequency bandwidth between 1 and 10. When solar light codes and cosmic plasma stream in, they expand us. Suddenly we're holding level 11. It feels euphoric. We might feel energized, deeply creative, intuitively sharp. We may have spiritual insights that bring clarity to years of inner work. But then, without warning, we crash. Fatigue rolls in, our body aches, old thought patterns and emotional wounds rise to the surface. It can feel confusing and defeating. But here's what's really happening. In order to hold the new higher vibration, to truly embody it, the lower frequencies within us have to rise and be cleared. You can't hold level 11 while still anchored in level 1. Sometimes the clearing is swift, a wave moves through, and it's done. Other times, what surfaces is deep, layered, and ancient. We may find ourselves back in what feels like another dark night of the soul. And once again, we are asked to surrender. To let go of the programs, beliefs, roles, and stories that once kept us safe, but now keep us stuck. How long we are in this clearing process depends on how quickly we can let go. The more we resist, the longer it persists. In the meantime, levels 12, 13, 14, and so on are still coming in, which means that the clearing of levels 2, 3, and 4 is also happening. It can create an energetic backlog and knock us off our feet. This is why we are being called to go inward, to create space to process all these energies. As these intense waves of energy come in, it's common to experience physical symptoms, buzzing through the limbs, heat rising through the spine, pressure in the head or heart, spontaneous tears, waves of anxiety, and old injuries flaring up. Our sleep may become erratic, vivid dreams, interrupted rest, or feeling completely wired at night, while exhausted during the day. It's as if the cells are dancing, pulsing, detoxing, and shedding density. This is especially amplified if the body has experienced trauma. The cellular memory is very real. And as we ascend, we are not bypassing the body, we are bringing the light into it. That's where true transformation occurs. This is why you may feel emotions out of nowhere, or why grief sits heavy in the chest. The physical form is catching up with the frequency shifts of the soul. During these times, the guidance is simple, though not always easy. Be gentle, but present. Rest when needed, but don't numb. Listen to your body. Allow the emotions to surface and flow. Stay hydrated, eat grounding foods, and spend as much time as possible in nature. And above all, remember you are not broken. You are in the sacred process of remembering. Let the energy do what it came to do, illuminate, liberate, and bring you home to you. The Arcturian Group, Spiritual Process. Dear readers, know that these messages are intended to provide spiritual knowledge and principles of truth from which you can build a foundation in alignment with the reality of your true self. This in turn will allow you to serve yourself, others, and the ascension process from high levels of awakened awareness rather than from falsehood and fear. The world at this time is in the beginning phase of an unstoppable spiritual process. Earth, being a divine creation, was never meant to live forever in bondage to duality, separation, and powers over. Much of what you are witnessing at this time is meant to serve as a catalyst that will awaken those still choosing to remain in the past, content to keep the status quo, and letting others make decisions for them. Change is coming to every aspect of life. As increasingly more awaken out of the three-dimensional belief system and open themselves to oneness, it will automatically increase the light in collective consciousness. The changes coming from new and higher frequencies on Earth will not be those that simply present obsolete three-dimensional ideas packaged and presented as being new. Once Earth's collective consciousness reaches a point of being more spiritually evolved, love and oneness rather than separation and power over others will become the dominant force behind laws, religion, education, health, and governments. This will be the world that is only now beginning. Cannot be rushed, but will continue to unfold and expand over the coming years. Physical bodies could not safely withstand a sudden influx of intense high-resonating energy, and so the process of clearing old energy, while at the same time integrating higher frequencies, must be gradual. Even now, many of you are experiencing physical, emotional, and mental discord from clearings and integrations. The world in general continues to consider human beings as nothing more than disposable physical bodies at the mercy of and subject to an infinite number of three-dimensional powers, be they disease, dictators, or a god of vengeance. Let your consciousness of oneness be your only sword and shield as you face the daily onslaught of negative images and words that you are experiencing. When you allow truth to become more than just interesting dinner conversation, and begin anchoring it into your consciousness through practice and vigilance, it can, and will begin to express through and as you because your consciousness is you. Just as a sunbeam is one with the sun, the wave is one with the ocean, and every branch is one with the tree, so are you seemingly separate, but one. Rather than using prayer or meditation for seeking, begging, wishing, asking for, imploring, wanting, or desiring what you think you don't have, let it become a time of simply resting in oneness. You can state spiritual intentions: I choose to more fully understand the truth of my being. Or I choose more light. Never forget that because you are God consciousness individualized, you are a creator, creating from the state of your consciousness. Be aware of so-called spiritual mental practices that teach you to say, I am well, I am abundant, I am this, or I am that, which is mental suggestion, a form of hypnotism. Yes, the real you is all these things, but we speak of mental techniques meant to make the false human separated sense of you well and abundant. There is a fine line here that many do not yet understand, which is why we speak of it. Attempting to change a bad material picture into a good one is nothing more than a continuation of the three-dimensional illusions you are trying to wake out of. Good humanhood is just as much an illusion as bad humanhood, because all humanhood is a concept of real divinehood. Spiritual evolution is an unstoppable reality. That means every person at some point will reach a place of readiness beyond personal ego, and begin seeking and living from their true being. This choice is especially important right now, because the world has entered a time in which paths are dividing. And every person must choose to move either forward with the high frequencies of an ascending earth, or remain in the past. Your choice. Innovative creative ideas of any sort: art, music, healing, solutions, inventions, technology, etc. can only flow from the source and substance of creativity, divine consciousness. Truly new, and never before known ideas do not, and cannot flow from the human mind, because human minds are not creative, they are interpreters, avenues of awareness that access and interpret what is already present in some form in the collective. Those who bring forth unique and new ideas in every aspect of life are drawing from within, whether they are aware of it or not. Future leaders on Earth will make choices and decisions that reflect a personal and collective consciousness imbued with truth rather than the three-dimensional programming you know now. This will not happen overnight, but the process has begun. We understand your frustration, concern, and even fear, as you see so much that you considered permanent eliminated or changed drastically. Know that this phase is necessary for awakening a sleeping world out of its love of and reliance on the status quo. A new world is being born, one in which decisions, laws, governments, health, education, and most importantly religion, will be based in truth and the knowledge that all life is an expression of one omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient God. Those choosing to continue living from duality, separation, and many powers, refusing to open their hearts to more, will at some point continue their evolution elsewhere, as they will be unable to align with the higher frequencies of light coming. Always remember that darkness in and of itself has no reality, because darkness is nothing more than the absence of light. Remember always that as the individualization of one omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent reality/God, you cannot die, or be separated from the fullness of it regardless of what may be taking place in your life. Spiritual ascension has never before taken place while a person remains in physical form, which makes the ascension process of Earth and her people taking place at this time different, and it's the reason it is being closely observed by many on other planets and in the higher realms. You are well prepared to live from this higher state of consciousness, which is why you chose to be on Earth at this time. All is proceeding according to plan. Allow the process, never forgetting that you are loved, guided, supported, appreciated, encouraged, and honored by the many observing and assisting from the other side. We are the Arcturian group. One who serves and Shoshanna, in the now. Om Mani Padmom, Om Mani Padmom, Om Mani Padmom, Om Ma Om. Master OWS. Greetings to you, one who serves here. Shoshanna is here, and we are ready to assist you in your questions, if you have them. Would there be questions here for one who serves and Shoshanna? Member. I have a question. Master OWS. Yes. Member. You've talked about the concept of staying in the now. And when I try to do that, try to just figure out how to do it, my mind is thinking that, okay, I'm thinking of something now, but as I'm doing that, that moment has already passed. It's already in the past. So how do I keep my mind focused on the now that's always happening, but always in the past? Master OWS. We will tell you, first of all, you use the term here, that is try. There is no try, there is only do. So as you are wanting to be in the moment, just simply know that you are in the moment. And do not attempt to analyze where you are, whether it is past, present, or future. Just be in the moment right now, and each moment after that will take care of itself, you see. That is how it works. Just be in the moment, and eventually, you will even become the moment itself. You will understand that more, as you are able to do, so that is what we can tell you. Shoshanna, do you have something to add? Master Shoshanna. We do not. Master OWS. Very good. We hope this was somewhat helpful to you. For we know, though, that you have a tendency to analyze to the point of where it becomes more and more difficult for you to understand what it is that we are speaking about here. Member. I just want to know how to do things that you're speaking about. Master OWS. There is no how. There is no how. There is to just do it. Just be it. That is what you need to come to. The more that you attempt to understand how to do something, the more difficult it will be to do exactly that. Just do it. Just be it. That is all we can tell you on this until you fully understand what we are striving to help you to understand, okay? Master Shoshanna. We will share. Dear brother, we would like to add a perspective here if we may. May we add a perspective? Member. Always, yes. Master Shoshanna. Dear brother, were you present for the conversation, the call regarding time shifting, timeline shifting, quantum jumping? Were you present? Member. I might have heard a little bit. I think I was on a trip to another city during that. I think I was listening. But not really much. Master Shoshanna. Well, the entire conversation was the how-to manual. That was the entire conversation. So we are sorry you missed that because there are many how-tos in conversation that these individuals have with each other, and perhaps you would do better to be present for the call and listen for the how-tos. That is what we suggest, Nam asked. Master OWS. Very good. Would there be other questions here? Member. I have a question. Member. Excuse me, I recorded that discussion, if anyone would like to hear. Master Shoshanna. Dear brother, the one that was asking the question perhaps would benefit from the recording. If he would reach out or you would reach out, Nam asked. Master OWS. Good, and there was another question here. Member. Yes, I have a question. Master OWS. Yes. Member. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about MED beds, and I guess the Alliance has discovered massive amounts of hidden MED beds worldwide, and found underground tunnels and different hiding holes that they have, and they were surrounded by an air defense system. So they were being protected by AI. But the Delta forces breached those compounds, and now Trump has taken over them. We're supposed to get those MED beds online, for the public, not just the elite. The elite had some notorious things that they were doing with those MED beds. But I was wondering if you know anything about that, as far as when they will be available to the public. And I'm sure it's going to have to go around the disclosure of those MED beds. So do you know anything about that? Master OWS. What we can tell you is there is much that is happening still yet behind the scenes. Much that is being held hidden in some ways from the general public. But for those that have the eyes to see and ears to hear, there is more and more information not only about these MED beds, but other technologies to begin to come forward. And the idea of speaking about all of this more and more brings it more and more into the creation of in a sense, a new timeline, which will have these technologies being released. Can we tell you when they will be? No, we cannot give that at this point, because it is not yet known when they will be released. But know that they are in process of being released. You see, it is all about consciousness, vibration, and consciousness, and as vibrational frequency continues to increase across the planet and consciousness also increases, and begins to create the timeline that you are all wanting here, which will include them, those new technologies being released. And that is when you will have them. So you yourself as individuals continue to create in your mind and continue to have the intention, and even if you can the passion, as you said earlier, to go with it, and you will bring that into manifestation much quicker for yourself and for the collective. Shoshanna, do you have anything to add here? Master Shoshanna. We will say something here. May we share, dear sister? Member. Yes, please. Master Shoshanna. Dear sister, do you have any information on the precursors to the MED beds? Member. The precursors. Well, I know they use robotics in the medical profession now. Is that what you? Master OWS. We would say that there are facilities that have what we would call a precursor to the MED beds that is healing people. There are several now in the United States. We find that the one known as Scott McKay, who is an individual that has a radio show and a podcast on rumble.com, has spoken about this many times, and there are many people that visit this facility that he has in Texas. There is a doctor by the name of, we believe, Dr. Sandra Michaels, if we believe we are pulling this name from this brain, that has created the device, that is a healing device. And we call this the precursor, because what is happening now is there is a rollout of particular things in the industry and the medical industry, that are preparing the population to accept a device such as the MED beds. So there are several things going on right now to increase the consciousness and understanding so that this device, known as the MED bed, is accepted. What is happening now is it would not be accepted. It would not be considered as of right now. So there are many precursors, many vibrational instruments such as what we know as the wave watch. There are several. There's lots of devices that employ nanotechnology now. There are devices that help heal, that no one quite knows how they heal. There are the life wave patches that no one really knows how they work, but they are employing nanotechnology. So these are small advances in the alternative medical field that are preparing the minds and the culture of these third-dimensional individuals that only believe in the medical model to accept the next level. So you will see the MED beds. You will see them begin, the true MED beds, once the culture has the consciousness to accept it. That is the only thing that is holding it back, is the consciousness of humanity, you see. We also know that there are MED beds being employed in foreign countries as we speak, to mend soldiers to regrow limbs. This is occurring right now, but those cultures are more accepting than your culture. We find that this country that you find yourself in has limited consciousness when it comes to medical advancement, and they still just want their vaccine. That's how they operate. So you must wait, and you must bide your time as consciousness grows to accept this idea, and then you will see them. Namaste. Master OWS. We will add here though that the barriers that have been holding these technologies from being released are falling more and more. Those of the forces of darkness are not able to hold on to the general public as much as they were before in terms of control. They are losing control. They are losing the battle. They are even losing the war here. The war between good and evil. Between light and dark. They are losing. And in many ways you could say they have already lost. Would there be other questions here? Member? Thank you. Master OWS. Any further questions? Nothing further. Then Shoshanna, do you have a parking message? Master Shoshanna. We do not. Master OWS. Very good. Then we simply say, as has been said many times, continue to be in the moment as much as you possibly can. Do not hold on to the past to let that go. Let the old programming, the old memories, all of that go that no longer keep you in the higher vibrations, or rather hold you back from the higher vibrations, and allow for the new thought processes to come in and replace the old that are no longer needed. Shanti, peace be with you, be the one. Source arrayoflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.